A pleasant day, everyone. This is Cramming Alien Philosophers, and I am June B. Alejo. Me and my group will be tackling utilitarianism under utilitarianism. But before we proceed in our main topic, let us define first what is utilitarianism. Utilitarianism, it is defined as the right action that which produces the greatest happiness for the greatest number. Utilitarianism is a moral theory that focuses on the result of our action. So basically, when we do action, good action, it provides us good consequences. And utilitarianism is a normative ethical philosophy. Normative ethics, it is a branch of philosophy, have to do with the system of morality and investigating questions regarding how one ought to act morally. And utilitarianism is often said is hedonism or hedonistic principle. Hedonism or hedonistic principle states that an individual seek more pleasure or happiness, not pain. So siguro nature na rin ng tao yon na mag-seek sila ng pleasure or happiness to all of their actions and decisions. They made decisions not because they want to feel they don't want to feel the pain, but they want to experience happiness or pleasure, or they seek pleasure and happiness in their decisions. And utilitarianism was made for everybody. And the core principle of utilitarianism is the principle of utility. What is principle of utility? It seeks object which increases our happiness more than the object that can diminish it. An action is right just in case it brings more happiness for everyone affected than any other alternative. The ideals of principle of utility is that we as an agent should do what most benefit to all humanity. So let us now move on our main topic, which is the utilitarianism, or we can call it classical utilitarianism. So what is utilitarianism? It states that an individual should choose action that produces a greatest good for the greatest number of people. The best action we can take all the time is the one that maximizes well-being in the greatest number of individual as possible. So we choose the best action in order to produce a greatest good, and it provides to a greatest number of people. So utilitarianism is greater than the law. For example, let us say in this situation wherein we make a fast decision, and that means we no longer care about the law. We give more sympathize to the number of people who will benefit the decision. So parang ganun. So utilitarianism choose the greatest action that produces greatest good and for the greatest number of people. That's it.
Good day, everyone. I am Angeline D. Quinto. I am from 12 Men 01 from Best Ed English. So today I will be discussing the great utilitarian thinkers. This is John Stuart Mill and this is Jeremy Bentham. So first, let us know who is John Stuart Mill. So John Stuart Mill was an English philosopher, political economist, member of Parliament, and civil servant. One of the most influential thinkers in the history of classical liberalism, he contributed widely to social theory, political theory, and political economy. John Stuart Mill is a Bentham's godson, believed that happiness, not pleasure, should be the standard of utility. That is John Stuart Mill. So This is Jeremy Bentham. So first let us know who is Jeremy Bentham. So Jeremy Bentham was a philosopher, economist, jurist, and legal reformer, and the founder of modern utilitarianism, an ethical theory holding that actions are morally right if they tend to promote happiness or pleasure, and morally wrong if they tend to promote unhappiness or pain, among all of those affected by them. Jeremy Bentham, he was concerned with social and legal reform. He wanted to develop an ethical theory which established whether something was good or bad according to its benefits for the majority of people. He called this the principle of utility. Utility is the usefulness of the results of actions. The great utilitarian thinkers, the classical utilitarians Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, identified the good with pleasure. So like Epicurus, where hedonists about value, they also held that we ought to maximize the good that is bring about the greatest amount of good for the greatest number. So Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill identified the good of pleasures, and they are both philosophers and the great utilitarian thinkers. So now let's proceed to proponent of utilitarian. Utilitarianism is the tradition of ethical philosophy that is associated with Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, two late 18th and 19th century British philosophers, economists, and political thinkers. So as you can see, Jeremy and John Stuart are both political thinkers. So the criticism of act utilitarian. The most common argument against act utilitarianism is that it gives the wrong answer to moral questions. Critics say it permits various actions that everyone knows are morally wrong. The fact does not allow for consistent quantifying process. In addition, all ethical systems stemming from consequentialism, the belief that actions are judged on the basis of their consequences, are limited by the ability to guess at the future consequences of precious actions. Perhaps the greatest difficulty with utilitarianism is that it fails to take into account considerations of justice. We can imagine instances where a certain course of action would produce great benefits for society, but it would be clearly unjust. So, Jeremy and John Stuart give us the idea what is utilitarianism and what is good and what is bad about this topic. So that's all. Thank you for listening. God bless.
Hi, I am Valerie Kapinpin Suriban, and I am from 12 MEN01, or Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. So let's now proceed with the benefits of ACT utilitarianism. So the first benefit of ACT utilitarianism is that it maximizes utility, or in other words, ACT utilitarianism enables our action to be in their highest possible level of utility or usefulness. So, we can maximize the overall utility that is within our power by knowing the usefulness of each action that we do. For example, meron tayong dalawang choices na pwedeng gawin sa buhay natin. So, yung isa para lang sa sarili natin. Gusto nating gawin kasi gusto natin. We deserve it. And the next one is yung pwede nating gawin na makatutulong or makabubuti sa mas maraming tao. So, think about it. Ano ang mas morally tama? What is more morally true or good? Yun bang para sa sarili or para sa mas nakararami? And that is the work of utilitarianism. It helps us to know what is more morally good because of the usefulness of every action that we must do or we are planning to perform. And the next one is utilitarianism makes moral judgment objectively true. It shows how moral question can have objectively true answer. We often believe that morality is subjective and it depends on people's desire and sincere beliefs. Well, utilitarianism provides method for showing us which moral beliefs are true and which are false. If only we can maximize or we can know or predict the amount of utility or usefulness of every action. Just like the first benefit, we must know kung ano ba yung use ng action na gagawin natin. Meron ba siyang mas malaking pakinabang sa mundo, ganon? For us to be able to have or make a moral judgment or moral good, moral action, we must choose the higher amount of usefulness or utility. So, sa lahat or sa buong buhay natin, maraming mga circumstances, mga bagay-bagay na hindi natin namamalayan, na nai-apply na pala natin yung mga utilitarianism na yan. Ano-ano kaya yung mga yon? So, here nakikita nyo sa screen is cheating, stealing, mercy killing. Well, ilan lang yan Sa dami-rami ng pwede nating pag-applyan or hindi natin alam na ina-applyan natin ng utilitarianism. Cheating. So, isipin na lang natin, cheating. Why do people cheat? Well, we do cheat because of our own happiness. We prioritize ourselves. That's why cheating sometimes seems so right, seems so good, ang sarap sa feeling kasi wala, tinutupad mo or sinusundan mo kung ano yung magpapasaya sa'yo. Without knowing kung ano yung magiging epekto nun sa mas marami. Anong magiging epekto nun sa girlfriend mo? Anong magiging epekto nun sa ginagamit mo for cheating? Anong magiging epekto nun sa pamilya nila? Anong magiging epekto nun sa kanila? At sa maraming taong mga konektado sa buhay niyo. Well, to be able to know or yung decision natin na ay hindi ko to gagawin, ay titigilan ko na to. That is utilitarianism. Because we are choosing what is right. Well, meron pa nga, may ibang circumstances na, di ba? Sabi nila sa'yo, nagawa ko yun kasi mas naiintindihan niya ako. Sa kanya kasi walang away, hindi katulad sa'yo. Yan yung mga examples of our reasons why we cheat. So, nakakaumay, di ba? Ano pa? What else? White lies. Alam nating lahat masama magsinungaling. Pero meron tayong mga ginagawa minsan na, hindi ko sinabi kasi magagalit ka. Tapos para sa'yo rin naman yun. Hindi ko sinabi kasi alam ko na maapektuhan yung marami. Well, that is utilitarianism. Kahit alam nating mali, we're doing it. Bakit? Kasi ang iniisip nating tama is yung makabubuti sa ibang tao even though we are committing something, bad sa ibang aspect ng buhay. Next, stealing. Well, masama talagang kumuha ng mga bagay na hindi naman sa'yo. Tandaan mo yan, okay? Sa lahat ng bagay sa mundo, mapatao man yan, mapabagay man yan, kung ano-ano, masamang kumuha ng mga bagay na hindi sa'yo. So, why do we steal? For example, ako. Lumaki ako sa mahirap na pamilya. Hindi ako makakakain kung walang pera. Magugutom yung pamilya ko kapag hindi ako gumalaw. Tapos yun, ipupush ako nun for me to steal, to commit something bad. Bakit? I am stealing kumukuha ako ng mga bagay na hindi sa akin for me to be able to feed my family. It's like that. Utilitarianism. Alam nating mali, pero mas tinitignan natin yung malaking outcome or malaking pwedeng maging result, okay, sa mas malaking population. Kapag hindi ko to ginawa, magugutom yung pamilya ko. So kapag ginawa ko to, papatawarin ako ni Lord. Bakit? Kasi pinakain ko yung pamilya ko eh. Matutuwa siya. Pero hindi natin alam, mali talaga siya. Though, utilitarianism, we can see something we are committing kahit na mali as good. Kasi nga, mas makabubuti sa mas marami. Next, mercy killing. What is mercy killing? Yun yung uunahan mo ng patayin yung bagay. For example, doktor ka. Okay, doktor ka. Wow, ang tagal mong nag-aral, doktor ka. Tapos, sasabihin sa'yo ng pamilya, please, doc, ayaw na po namin nahihirapan yung tatay namin, for example. Doktor ka, and at the same time, tao ka. Alam mo na maling pumatay. Alam mo na kahit sa anong aspeto, kahit na anong klaseng pain, kahit na anong klaseng sakit yung dinaramdam ng isang tao, mali na pumatay. Okay. But then, alam mo din sa sarili mo na kapag ginawa mo yun, mababawasan yung pain na nararamdaman ng isang tao, plus mababawasan din yung gagastusin ng pamilya. Di charot lang. Diba? We know that it's bad in some aspects of life, but yet it is good. Why? Utilitarianism. It has a good result. So a major or most or more broader, wide, or mas malaking amount of population. Siyempre, ano pa ba yung isipin na natin? Ano pa ba yung iisipin ko na mali yung gagawin ko kung makatutulong naman ako sa mas marami? Just like that. That is utilitarianism. Diba? Sabi sa inyo sa lahat ng bagay sa mundo, sa lahat ng maraming circumstances na nangyayari sa mundo, hindi natin namamalayan, ina-apply na natin ang utilitarianism. But, tama ba? I mean, tama ba na gamitin or i-apply ang utilitarianism sa pag-alam kung ano yung mas makabubuti or kung ano yung tamang gawin? So, for that, we have Sir Eldon Gilasio to somehow discuss our own perception about utilitarianism.
Good day. So this is my point of view about the utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is that it provides good outcome in terms of decision, though there are some lapses or instances like we never care if the decision might cause a bad experience or a bad outcomes to others. Aside from that, we never give sympathize to the person how the impact might damage to his or her mental, emotional, and physical health. But what's the best thing about this moral theory is that it brings the light that radiates to everyone, as we humans must do things not only to ourselves but to everyone near us or to everyone who is involved to that decision making. Lastly, this moral theory reflects how the will mankind can very complex and broad. Complex and broad enough to bring out the best result for everyone. And of course, let's not forget about the questions, because in every lessons, there are some questions that you might want to answer or to know about the topic. So question number 1. In some instances, does choose utilitarianism as a basis of making the decision, does it makes you feel good? Number 2, what alternatives we must do to somehow give compensation to one who affected the decisions we made? Number 3, what if utilitarianism never exists? Does we care more about the others, or we become too selfish to make it favorable to us? Number 4, does choosing utilitarianism makes you inconsiderate? And lastly, Number 5, does utilitarianism practices our cognitive thinking by only choosing the best decision for the greatest number of people?
Again, that is utilitarianism. We hope you've learned something from us. Thank you.